Yeah. Okay, guys. So I can proceed it now. So as you know that TVCom is the value-added distributor in entire Middle East for the DrayTek, and especially for the DrayTek they have a switches, wireless access points, and the routers. So today's our topic is which is Vigor 3910 and 2962. So we are going to discuss about exactly what are the specifications and what are the features that these devices are going to support. So before I'm going to start about Vigor 3910, I just want to give you some brief introduction about the Dratec portfolio, guys. So basically Dratec has a huge portfolio for the switches, and we have a switches like a 24 port, 48 port and 8 port switches as well. And these switches are going to support 10 gig uplinks. You can able to connect the fiber 10 gig uplinks, and you can able to configure all your layer 2 features as well. And we have a switches which is layer 2 plus switches, and they are going to support the routing as well as switching. And you can able to configure multiple static routes, and you can able to enable the inter-VLAN routing between the VLANs. And you can configure the DHCP pools as well. And again, we have access points. We have indoor and outdoor access points. And these access points you can able to manage with controller or without controller. You can able to configure it. It's going to work in the standalone, or if you want to work with the controller base, it's going to work it as well. And all the latest technologies which is going to support. And mainly we are going to focus it on SMB and SME customers. So small and medium business and small and medium enterprise customers. So today mainly we are going to focus it on Vigor 3910, which is the high-end model in DrayTek. So mostly this router we are going to give it to you for SME people, so small and medium enterprise people. So let's go and start now. What are the features it's going to support? I'll go through it. And by the way, there is a quiz is there, guys. So whoever going to answer that questions, and there will be a gift from DVCom. So I'm expecting you that you can just, whatever I'm trying to explain to you, whatever slides I'm going through it, just please pay attention on that. So that end of this session, there is a quiz. Yeah. So I'm going to proceed it for you. I hope my voice is audible to everyone. Yeah. So the first one is that I just want to talk about the interfaces. So if you see here, especially Vigor 3910, it has 2 fiber interfaces are there. So these are the SFP plus. So it's going to support 10 gig, 2.5 gig and 1 gig. So if you want to connect the fiber, there is a 2 interfaces are available. You can able to see on my screen, there is a P1 and P2. So these 2 interfaces, we can able to connect the fiber. So this is like a multi-gig interfaces. So multi-gig is nothing but you can connect it to the 10 gig or 2.5 gig or 1 gig. So according to your requirement, you can able to connect it. And again, we have a 2 copper interfaces. These are the multi-gig interfaces, and it's going to support 2.5 gig, 1 gig, 100 Mbps and 10 Mbps. And again, we have a 4 1 gig Ethernet interfaces are there, which is copper interfaces. So basically these interfaces, it's a switchable interfaces, which means you can able to use it as a WAN or you can able to use it as a LAN. Based on your requirement, you can able to proceed it. Are you able to hear my voice, guys? Is it audible to everybody?
Yeah, yes, Session. Proceed.
Yeah. So actually, I'm just finding I'm feeling that I'm not able to. Yeah.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll proceed it, sir. I'm not sure. Okay. So this is what there is a switchable ports are there. So basically this 3910, it has a 2 fiber ports and 2 copper ports, and this fiber ports is going to support SFP plus. So SFP plus means it's going to support up to 10 gig connectivity. So these 2 are the multi-gig interfaces. And again, we have a 4 1 gig interfaces, which is going to support like 1 gig copper interfaces. So you can able to connect your these ports are the switchable ports. So total you can able to terminate up to 8 internet connections in this device. So it's going to support up to 8 internet connections, and you can able to do the load balancing or failover, you can able to do it. And there is a fixed LAN port. There is a 4 ports are there, which is 4 ports, which is a fixed LAN ports. And these 4 ports, you can able to use it for, you can able to do the port based VLAN, or you can able to configure the tag based VLAN. And also it is comes with the 2 USB ports, and you can able to use it for your storage. And there is a console port. If you want to troubleshoot, you can able to troubleshoot it as well. And there is a button which is a factory reset button. So through this factory reset button, if you want to erase the configuration, maybe if you forget the password, and if you want to do a factory reset, you can able to do it. So these are the interfaces details. So totally this 3910 is going to comes with total 12 interfaces. Out of 12 interfaces, 8 interfaces we can able to use it for your internet connection, and remaining 4 interfaces dedicatedly you can use it for the LAN. So that's what how the interface is. So the next one is that the performance. If you see the performance, the NAT throughput will be 9 Gbps, guys. It's very huge. 9 Gbps, it's going to support the NAT throughput. And IPsec VPN performance, which is 3 Gbps. SSL VPN performance, which is 1.3 Gbps. And NAT sessions is going to support up to 1 million. But most of the time, I have seen that by default, it's going to comes with 150,000 NAT session, guys. In case if you want to increase, you can able to increase 300 or 1 million, because I'm going to show it to you where the settings. But whenever you are going to purchase 3910, by default, it's going to support 150,000 NAT sessions. Then if you want, you can able to increase it. So you can go up to 1 million. And again, the maximum concurrent VPN tunnels is going to support 500, and maximum concurrent Open VPN or SSL VPN is going to support up to 200 tunnels. So make sure that it's going to support the 200 SSL VPN tunnels. So these are the performance wise if you see the specifications. The next one is that the connection. So if you want to terminate your internet connection, what type of connections you can able to terminate on Vigor 3910? Let's say that we have a Pppoe connection, which is point-to-point protocol over Ethernet. So most of the time, if you see Do or Etisalat in UAE, most of the time they are going to provide to you Pppoe connection. They are going to give you the username and password. Then you just go to that specific interface. Then you can specify the username and password. Then after the second one is the DHCP. So DHCP is nothing but some service providers, what they are going to do, simply they are going to provide for you the cable, and they will ask you to connect to your router. So automatically your router is going to get the IP address from your service provider. And make sure that sometimes most of the places in UAE, we have seen they are getting the IP address, which is the private IP. But you don't get confused about it. Why? Because your service provider sometimes is going to provide for you your private IP, so that you can request them, so that you can ask them that, boss, I'm planning to go for the public IP, so that they will change for your internet connection as well. And static IP means manually you are going to get the IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, preferred DNS, and alternate DNS. So these 3 methods we are going to support. So wherever you go, either you can get the internet connection as a Pppoe or DHCP or static IP. And again, we are going to support IPv6 as well. And again, if you want multi VLAN tagging, so in case if you have a multiple internet connections and you want to tag those internet connection to your layer 2 switch, from there, if you want to connect it to your DrayTek router, we are going to support your multi VLAN tagging as well. And again, if you go with the load balancing, by default, we are going to support the load balancing is IP based load balancing. And in case if you want to do a session based for better performance, you can able to change into session based as well. So IP based is the default. And if you want to do it session based, you can able to do it as well. Then after that, the link failure. For example, if you have a multiple internet connections, and if you want to check like which link is active, or which link, whenever the link is going to be down, the primary link is down, then automatically the internet traffic is going to pass through your secondary link. So how to make the detection? So these things is going to be possible. And if you want to detect the primary link is working fine or not, either you can use the ARP, or you can use the ping, or you can able to do the strict RP. And next one is that dynamic DNS. This is one of the very important feature, guys. Why? Because most of the time, if you are going to take a Pppoe connection, or DHCP connection, you are going to get the public IP from your service provider, which is the dynamic public IP. So this public IP is going to change at any time. So we cannot able to use this public IP for your VPNs, or port forwarding, you cannot able to do it. So that time what you are going to do, either you can take any third party services like noip.com or dindns.org. If you have a subscription from them, you can take those details and you can configure it in your Vigor 3910. And also if you want, if you don't have any services from any other third party, by default DrayTek is going to provide for you one DrayDNS which is totally free. You no need to do anything. When whatever appliances you are going to purchase, by default you are going to get one DrayDNS. It's totally free. And every year what you have to do, you need to subscribe for that, which means you no need to pay anything. Just you need to log into your portal and there you need to renew it. So for that they are not going to charge anything. So this is what the internet connection that we are going to support. The next one is that LAN management. So the LAN management, we are going to support the VLANs as well, guys. So the first one is that tag based and second one is the port based. So especially in your layer 2 switch, in case if you created multiple VLANs and you want to pass your information through single interface, so that is called tag based VLAN. So inside the tag based VLANs, what it's going to do, it's going to use the protocol called 802.1q. And by using this protocol, which is going to carry the VLAN information from your layer 2 switch to router. So inside your router, you can able to configure multiple interfaces so that according to your requirement, you can able to tag each and every VLAN to different subnets, and you can able to send your information from single interface. So that is called tag based. Port based is nothing but each and every port in the DrayTek you can keep into the different VLAN so that you can able to utilize your bandwidth properly. Then after that, by default, it's going to support 100 VLANs, which means I believe it's a huge amount, guys. 100 VLANs means very huge, but most of the time, whenever you see in the production environment, maximum we'll go for 7 or 8 VLANs. But DrayTek is going to support up to 100 VLANs, and you can able to configure 100 subnets. So for whenever you are going to do the logical separation for your network, so usually what we are going to do, we are going to configure like a user VLAN, voice VLAN, management VLAN, camera VLAN, server VLAN, or DMZ, different VLANs you are going to configure it. For each and every VLAN, what we are going to do, we are going to create a separate subnet. So once you create the separate subnet, either you can assign the IP address statically, or you can configure the DHCP pool inside your DrayTek router. So the DHCP pool is going to serve the IP addresses to each and every VLAN. Then after that, if you want, you can bind the IP address to the specific MAC address. I mean, if you, for example, if your managers and all, they connected and they expecting that they want to get the IP address every time the same IP. So that time what you can do, you can take their MAC address and you can bind with that IP. That is also possible for you.
Yeah, about that VLAN, that some application scenarios, I can tell you, then people can understand easily. So many customers are buying Dratec 3910. Like people are giving managed services like some apartments, okay, or any hotels. So they need to give this Dratec 3910 can act as a Pppoe server. So people will get the multiple internet connectivity from the provider, like 1 GB for connection, something like that. Then they'll do the aggregation. Then each room, they will create a Pppoe client. So different connections. So each apartment having different network segment. So it's everything is possible. So like a mini ISP. So that and bandwidth management is possible. Session management is possible. It's very easy to manage, and that WebGUI is very user friendly. So there is no commanding command from CLI, something is there. Everything can do it by WebGUI. I think Seshu can show the demo also later.
Yeah, actually, we already uploaded the video, sir, so that these people, if they want to go through it and they can able to see it as well, or else if they want to test the device, they can able to do it. So you can able to configure your own Pppoe server, which means the DrayTek Vigor 3910 is going to act as a Pppoe server, and you can create the usernames and passwords for each and every apartment. Then after that, you can decide the bandwidth, how much bandwidth you want to utilize. So that this is one of the, you can create your own ISP, right, sir? This is what the purpose of this.
Exactly, and we can create hundreds, hundreds VLANs more than enough.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, the advantage is it's a license-free product. Okay, just need
yeah.
to buy the product. That's it.
That's it. Okay. The next one is that in each subnet, you can go up to 4,000. For example, if you want to create a IP subnet for each and every VLAN, you can go up to 4,000 IP addresses. Then as he mentioned that there is a Pppoe server is going to be support, and port mirroring is going to support in case if you want to troubleshoot of any of the ports, what is the bandwidth or what type of traffic is going on, you can able to do it. And if you want to define a local DNS server, you can able to define. In case if you want to do a conditional DNS forwarding, if you want to create the host names and all, maybe you can specify that the specific traffic, the specific DNS names whenever it's trying to hit your Vigor 3910 on which path he has to take, you can able to define it as well. And by default, the Vigor 3910 is going to support your hotspot. So especially hotspot is very important for restaurant, caves, shopping malls and all. In case if you have a small office area or if you have a medium sized office area, if you want to provide the internet connections to your guests or employees, then you can just create the hotspot. So we are going to support hotspot. The first one is click through. Second one is social login. Third one is SMS pin. Fourth one is radius. And fifth one is external portal server. So click through is nothing but the moment when you connect it, you are going to get a page like welcome so and so organization. And if you want to put any terms and conditions, you can able to see just people, they read it and they click through. Social login means either Facebook or Google. SMS pin means you can able to integrate with your SMS service provider, take the account, the package, and you can enter those credentials in your Vigor PBX and map that SMS details to your SSID. Then after that, whoever trying to access that SSID, immediately it will prompt you to enter your mobile number. Then after that, automatically you will get OTP. Then use that OTP to access the internet. The radius, in case if you are going to have a radius, you can able to do it as well. And external portal server, if you want to, you have a additional external portal, you can able to integrate with your Vigor 3910. So these are the benefits that you are going to get through Vigor 3910.
So when you are using external portal server as an our ACS3, we have a cloud platform is available. So you can register your product with our ACS3. So the advantage is along with the captive portal, there is an analytics page. So you could see that one, okay, how many clients are visited, when they visited, and which device they use. All the details available in the analytics page. So if there is any project, you can feel free to discuss with us. So that ACS3 is live, and we are here to support you.
Yeah. If anybody wants to test, then we can provide for you the one account. And if you want, you can test it so that you can able to have a complete information about it. I believe recently they added the SD-WAN as well. Am I correct, sir? SD-WAN
Yeah, yeah,
also they
yeah,
added.
yeah. Yes, Divan also available.
Yeah. And as you know that ACS means access control server, you can able to access your appliance from anywhere in the world. So
Even
that you,
access, even access points and
yes,
switches. It's a zero
yes,
provisioning. Okay, you don't
yes.
need to touch. You
Yeah,
just place the access points and switches in the remote area, and it will automatically connect to the ACS server, and you can do the whatever changes or configurations, monitoring. Everything is possible.
correct. And you just need to enable TR69. Then after
Exactly.
that, yeah. Then after that, you can able to access your appliance from anywhere in the world, so that you can able to see the status. In case if you want to upgrade the firmware or if you want to reboot the device, everything you can able to sit and you can able to do it. So you no need to visit the specific location. Especially if you are an integrator, ACS is the best solution for you guys to access all your customer devices from remotely.
And good
Yeah,
thing is, if you want to reset the router login password, for example, someone your client is forgot, okay, the login password. So if your router is added in ACS, so you can reset the login password through ACS. That is only way. Otherwise, you need to do the hard reset.
yeah.
I think you guys are using DrayTek, right? So I think you are aware of that. If you lost the password, you need to reset the device. There is no other option.
Yeah. So the next one is that networking. So in the networking, the first thing is that we are going to support the routing. So as you know that routing is nothing but forwarding your information from one network to another network. So basically the first one, we are going to support the static routing. it's going to support IPv4 and IPv6 and inter-VLAN routing. So in case if you have a multiple VLANs, if you want to make a communication from one VLAN to another VLAN, and you can able to enable it. And it's going to support RIP version 1 and RIP version 2. These are the dynamic routing protocols. So RIP version 1 and version 2, as well as NG next generation, which is related to IPv6, and also OSPF version 2 and BGP. So you can able to run all these routing protocols according to your requirement. Then after that, the next one is that policy based routing. So the policy based routing is nothing but I'll give you one example, guys, to make you more understanding. So let's say you have a 2 internet connections, all your staff traffic, so the staff VLAN, the traffic should go through from ISP1, and your internet, your guest traffic should go from ISP2. So that time what you can do, you can terminate both internet connections. Then after that, you can define the policy. So you can say that whenever the traffic coming from the staff network should go from ISP1, and whenever the traffic coming from the guest network should go from ISP2. So this is like a policy based routing. So you nothing to worry, guys, just everything is GUI. You can select the source and you can select the destination. And if you want to specify any specific port or domain name or country, if you want, you can select it. So most of the time we are going to do the IP based. In case if you want to prioritize the specific traffic which is related to the domain, you can able to do it as well. So that's the beauty of your policy based routing.
Here you could see that country-wise, it's geo restriction also possible. For example, you want to block the traffic from China. Okay, so for example, the management is asking, okay, let's block the access from China. So you can select the country, and you can select, for example, that fake interface. Instead of, for example, you connected actual internet on 1.2 is free. Okay, there is no internet connect. So you can choose that 1.2 for that. So there is if any request of that particular IP, the country IP. So it will go through. It will try to go to 1.2 only. So 1.2 there is no internet connectivity. So it can block in easy way.
Yeah. So that's what policy based routing. And again, if you want to configure high availability and make sure that this is one of the very important, guys. So in case if your router Vigor3910 is acting as a gateway for all your VLANs and all, and in case if it is down, then make sure if you have a standby router, it's going to take care of it. So that's why it's always recommends that whenever in the bigger production environment, you try to give us 2 devices so that the customer will be very much happy. In case if one is down, other one will take care of it. And in a high availability, we are going to support active standby and hot standby. Then after that, the DNS security, you can able to send your DNS traffic in secured way so that you can able to add your secured gateway for that. And next one is that the IGMP. IGMP is nothing but interior gateway management protocol, which is for multicasting. So in case if you want to configure IGMP version 2 or version 3 or proxy or IGMP snooping is enabled for it. So this is available from the firmware version 3.9.6. And after that, there is a local radius server. So the local radius server means your Vigor3910 itself is going to act as your radius server. If you want, you can create it and you can use it for 802.1x authentication. Or if you want to use the web authentication, you can able to use it as well. So the next one is that VPN. So the VPN is nothing but virtual private network. And this is one of the very important feature, guys. So basically the VPN is nothing but communication between the private networks over the public network. So let's say if you have a multiple branches and you want to make a communication from one branch to another branch, either you can go with like MPLS or if you go with some service provider support and all. But again, those things are very expensive. That's why most of the time what we are going to do, we are going to use the internet connection. On top of that internet connection, we are going to establish the secured VPN tunnel. So this secured VPN tunnel is going to establish between your head office to branch offices. Then after that, all your data which is passing through encrypted format. So for that, you can able to use it either PPTP or L2TP or IPsec or layer 2 tunneling protocol over IPsec or SSL or GRE, IKE version 2 in IPsec. It's open VPN. So according to your requirement, you can able to choose which protocol you are going to configure. Then after that, for user authentication, you can able to use the local or radius or LDAP or TechX Plus or MOTP. And for IKE authentication, there is a pre-shared key, X.509, X.authentication, and encapsulation authentication protocol. For IPsec authentication, we are going to support SHA-1, SHA-256, and MD5. For encryption, we are going to support MPPE and DES, triple test, and advanced encryption services. And in case if you want to have a redundancy for your VPNs, you can able to have a redundancy, and you can able to do the load balancing, and you can able to do the failover. So let's say that you have a multiple branches and you find that it's very important always the VPN has to be up and running. So that time what you can do, you can configure the redundant links between your head office to branch office. In case if one link is down, the information will pass through from second. And in case if you want to do a load balancing, you can able to do the load balancing between them. And single arm VPN by default NAT is enabled. So NAT is nothing but in case if you are behind the any NAT gateway, NAT router, then still you can able to establish the VPN. And again, there is a one more wonderful feature, which is DrayTek VPN Matcher. So DrayTek VPN Matcher is nothing but in case if you have a two locations and they don't have any public IP. Let's say in the some remote locations, maybe the service provider is not able to pull the cables there to provide the services. So that time what we are going to do, we are going to keep the LTE routers there. So whenever you keep the LTE router there, by default, the LTE router is going to provide for you the private IP address. So by using these private IP addresses, we cannot able to establish the VPN. So that time what we are going to do in the DrayTek, there is a feature called VPN Matcher. So through help of the VPN Matcher, we can able to establish the VPN connectivity between the head office to branch offices. So here you don't require any public IP there. So by using your private IPs, by help of VPN Matcher, you can able to establish the VPN. And other one is that there is a remote dial in VPN. So remote dial in VPN means the users, whenever they are frequently traveling or due to the pandemic, most of the people are working from home. So for them, what you can do, you can create the username and passwords, and you can just install your smart VPN client into their system. Then after that, you can provide the username and password. You can tell to your user, just go and connect to your internet from your home. Then after that, open the smart VPN client and you just enter the username and password. Then automatically the VPN is going to establish. So these kind of VPNs, we can call it as a remote dial-in VPN. So by
Also,
using,
yeah, also we can schedule the that VPN connectivity, remote dialing. So only particular time only that that agent can connect, remote dialing user. So that we can set up in the firewall role.
so you can able to add additional security on top of the VPN. Yeah. So basically the VPNs like LAN to LAN and remote dial-in VPN. So LAN to LAN means between two gateways, means each and every location you are going to keep your DrayTek router and you are going to establish the VPN between them. Remote dial-in means the people who is frequently traveling, like you can say teleworker. So for them, we are going to use the remote dial-in VPN. So it's in few seconds you can able to configure it, guys. And also I want to mention to you something important here. In case if you have a multiple branches and you have a head office, so we are going to support hub and spoke VPN, guys. This will make your life more easy. Why? Because if you want to, for example, I have a 10 locations and I want to establish a VPN, for example, between the head office to branch office and branch office to branch office, it's very hectic, guys. So you need to create multiple tunnels. So to avoid that, we are going to recommend all the time hub and spoke. So one of the head office is going to act as a hub and remaining branches are going to act as a spoke. So this is what the technology that we are going to support. Within few seconds, you can configure your VPN. So the next one is that firewall and content filtering. So in the firewall and content filtering, the first one is the NAT. So we are going to support the port redirection. So the port redirection means, let's say you have for one public IP and you are going to use that one public IP for multiple services. Maybe your managers and all, they want to see the NVR, or some of your staff, they want to access some FTP server or something. So what you can do, you can use that public IP and based on the port number, you can able to forward the traffic to your internal networks. And if you want to open the multiple ports, then you can able to use the concept called open ports and port triggering and DMZ host. If you want to configure it, you can able to configure it. And there is a SIP-ALG, which we can call it as application layer gateway. In case if you want to inspect your voice traffic, and if you want to enable or disable, you can able to do it. And VPN pass-through, I believe this is the old, but still we are going to support like PPTP, L2TP, and IPsec, and IP-based firewall policy. So basically IP-based firewall policy is nothing but we are going to write the policies based on the source IP and destination IP. So whether you want to allow or you are going to deny. So based on your IP addresses, you are going to define the policies. So that is you can able to do it. And again, we are going to support content security management, which is called CSM. So we are going to support application filtering, URL filtering, DNS filtering, and web features as well. And in case if you want to have a web control filtering, you need to have a license for it, which is a WCF license. So in WCF license, we have all the categories like a games, like a education, like this different categories are there, social media, like that. So that in case if you want to block all the social media, you simply just select the social media category, then you can apply onto your policy. Then automatically all social media sites is going to block. In case if you want to block specific sites, you can able to use it for the DNS filtering or application filtering. So these are the advantages that you are going to get. And make sure that you need to have a WCF license, web content filtering license. By using the license, by using that license, it's actually a subscription based. You can able to do the web control filtering on top of that. And there is a DOS attack defense and spoofing attack defenses is going to enable it.
In the latest firmware version, it supports the local host as well. So you can create the policy on a router. For example, incoming traffic. Okay, for example, from outside in one to the router, you can make the policy. Now, as per the system, okay, either you need to specify WAN or LAN. Okay, it was there. But now they are added that the local host also. So you can create the policy based on the local policy, local host as well.
Yeah. So if you see here, the overview of totally, not only the routing features, guys, it's going to support as a firewall. So not only the layer 3 based filtering, because most of the people, the router is nothing but everybody thinks it's going to do the IP based filtering. But not only IP based filtering, we are going to support application, URL, DNS filtering, and you can configure your web content filtering as well. So it's like a mini firewall for everybody, guys. If you are going with SMB or SMB customers, they can able to fulfill the requirement for your customers. So the device is perfectly all right. And in case if anybody wants to test all these features, we have a device, or if you want to come for the training, you always welcome, so that we are going to provide for you the trainings.
Yeah, and RMA rate is very less. Okay, if we are selling 1,000 piece, for example, okay, maybe we will get one piece return. Very
Correct.
rare, very rare, very rare. In a 6 months, maybe 2 or 3 pieces we are getting around. So hardware is very good and it's very stable also.
Yeah. So now let's go to the next, and bandwidth management. So you can able to control your bandwidth based on your IP address or based on your session limit. You can able to, for example, let's say that for the guest subnet, I don't want to give you more bandwidth. You can able to define the rule and you can apply for the guest network, so that whenever the guest come to your network, you cannot able to access more than what you specified. And in case if you want to limit the sessions, you can able to limit as well, especially torrents and all. If you see here, it's going to create a lot of sessions, guys, because the torrent, whenever some people trying to download the torrents, it will create a lot of sessions and they are going to consume the more bandwidth. So for in that cases, what you can do, you can limit the session as well. And QoS, which is quality of service, which is going to define like which traffic you need to take the priority. So by default, DrayTek will give you the VoIP traffic is the higher priority. In case if you want to give the higher priority for specific applications like a Microsoft Teams or Zoom applications or something which is related for your meetings, you can able to do it. So that's the beauty of that. And simply what you can do, it's completely GUI. You can just log into your appliance and you can able to apply it, the
Yeah,
bandwidth
yeah,
management.
and the hardware acceleration feature. If you're enabling hardware acceleration feature for example, IPsec VPN tunnel, okay, or any special service, okay, then you have that additional co-processor. It will take care. So that's a, then it will boost your that performance and it will not affect LAN clients. So if you want to increase your performance, router performance, so you can utilize that that hardware acceleration feature.
Yeah. So which means if you see in the single bundle, we have all the features, guys. So whatever features you want to configure it, it's like a one-stop solution, you can say it. The next one is that the management. So the management, you can able to access your appliance through HTTP or HTTPS or Telnet or SSH. And in case if you want to access through your ACS, then make sure that you need to enable the TR69 protocol. And you can able to upgrade the firmware by using TFTP or HTTP, or remotely means TR69 means you are going to access your appliance somewhere remotely, and you can able to upgrade the firmware, and you can import or export your configuration file. And if you want to create the administrative privilege for 2-level, you can able to do it. And access control, you can configure it. And separate syslog server, by default in the device itself you can able to see the logs, but in case if you want to have a separate syslog server, you can able to associate with your device as well. And notification alert, whenever the device is down or any interface is down, if you want to see the notifications, you can configure your SMS gateway, or you can configure your email. Again, Snmp, which is simple network management protocol, version 1 and version 2 and version 3 is going to support. And you can able to manage this device by using Vigor ACS. And in case if you want to manage your access points, it's going to support up to 50 Vigor access points. And in case if you want to manage your switches through centralized through the appliance itself, then it's going to support up to 30 switches you can able to manage it. So this is what exactly how you can able to do the management for Vigor 3910. So now the last thing is that, guys, the quiz part. So everybody, what you can do now, because there is some of the questions I prepared, in case if you understand well about my PPT, please give me answers so that you just type it there. So at the end of this presentation, so whoever did the correct question answers, then we are going to give you the DrayTek cups, guys, from TVCom. Yeah.
So answer in the private chat, right?
Yeah, in private chat. So sir, can we start? Okay, the first question, guys, just you can see there. How many interfaces does 3910 have? Total, how many interfaces are there, guys, for 3910? So this is the first question. First time when I open my slides, I just explained to you. Total, how many interfaces are there? Can you please? We are expecting your answers from everybody. Can you please type it here? Hello? 10. Someone has typed as 10. Okay. Haitham sir has typed as a 10. Guys, I'm expecting answers from everyone, please. No problem. Whatever you understand, you can type it there. How many interfaces does 3910 have? Syed saying that 8. Very good. Then who else, guys? Who else? 12 plus 2, 14. Haitham sir is saying that it's a 12 plus 2. Okay. Expecting more answers, guys. Please, everybody. So, sir, can I reveal the answer?
Yeah. I think it's finished. You can otherwise you can only one question, right?
Yeah, no, there is multiple questions, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
So there is a 12 interfaces, guys, total. So as I told you, 8 interfaces, it's a switchable. You can able to use it for LAN or WAN, and remaining 4 interfaces are dedicatedly you are going to use it for LAN. So it has comes with total 12 interfaces, guys. Yeah. So nobody has correct on this. Okay, let's go now. The second question. Be ready, guys. It's very simple and straightforward questions. Second question. Does 3910 support 10 gig SFP plus? Who else? Perfect. So how many interfaces it has? I just want to add this. How many interfaces it has? 10 gig interfaces. Everybody, guys. How many 10 gig SFP plus interfaces are there in 3910? Perfect. 2 interfaces. Thank you, Mr. Syed. Thank you, Mr. Haitham, sir. Yeah. Next one. How many internet connections we can terminate on Vigor 3910? How many internet connections? No, I'm talking about internet connections, not VLANs. Let's say your customer has a multiple internet connections. Yeah. How many internet connections? Syed saying that 4, Haitham sir saying that 8. So I'm going to reveal it, guys. Total 8 internet connections you can able to terminate it. Yeah, you can able to terminate up to 8 internet connections, guys. It's a super, along with your fiber, multi-gig and copper multi-gig, and you have 1 gig copper as well. Yeah, let's go to the next question. Thank you, Haitham sir. Right. How many fixed LAN ports are there? How many fixed LAN ports are there in Vigor 3910? How many fixed LAN ports are there? Syed saying that 4. And what about you, Haitham sir? How many fixed LAN ports are there? Guys, whoever don't follow the slides, you can able to see that it's very easy for you to understand. Yeah. How many? No. The total LAN ports, the dedicated LAN ports are 4. See, you have total 12 ports. Out of 12 ports, 8 ports you can use it for internet, and remaining 4 ports you can use it for LAN. Those are the fixed ports. So you cannot change that. But 8 ports, either you can able to use it for LAN or you can able to use it for WAN. Clear, sir? Perfect. Let's go to the next. What are the maximum NAT session does 3910 do? What are the maximum NAT session does 3910 support? How many NAT sessions is going to support, guys? This is what I highlighted in my first, I believe, second slide. Okay. No, the NAT sessions, guys. NAT session is nothing but it's going to translate your private IP to public IP. So whenever it's
connection.
Yeah, concurrent connections, so that you can able to see that. It will create a multiple sessions whenever it translates. So actually Syed saying that it's a 9 GB and Haitham sir saying that it's a 1 million. It's a 1 million is the correct answer, guys. It's
9
going
GB
to
is the throughput. It's
9 GB is the throughput. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Syed. Thank you, sir. Let's go to the next question. Wow. What are the maximum concurrent SSL VPN tunnel does in 3910? How many SSL VPN tunnels it's going to support, guys? How many tunnels we can configure it? For each and every user, we can able to create one SSL VPN account. No. Yes. Haitham sir, you are almost right. We are expecting, closed answer. By default, it's going to support overall is 500 VPN tunnels. And 200 VPN tunnels is going to support for SSL. SSL, you can able to configure up to 200. And what about you, Mr. Syed? Hello? Hello? Yeah, perfect. So it's going to support 200, sir. By default, this device is going to support 500 VPN tunnels, and 200, you can able to use it for your SSL. Maximum, it's going to support 200. Yeah, next question. Thank you. What is the default load balancing method does 3910 do? What is the default load balancing method? As I told you that there is a 2 methods are there for load balancing, which is the default one. What is the default load balancing method does 3910 do? Default one, guys. Haitham sir, Syed, which is the default? Okay. And what about you, Syed? Yeah, IP based is the default. No. Say 8 internet connections you can able to terminate it, but the load balancing by default it's going to do IP based. Yeah. So based on the IP address, it does the load balancing. And the other one is that session based. So that what it will do based on your NAT sessions, it's going to do the load balancing. So the effective one is that in case you want to do a link aggregation, it's recommended to go with the session based. Is it clear? So that you are going to get a proper bandwidth, guys. If you have a multiple internet connections, yes. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Let's go to the next question. Does 3910 support third-party DYNE DNS? And as I told you, by default, it's going to, if you want, you can configure DRADY DNS. Other than the DRADY DNS, let's say your customer has a different DYNE DNS, like maybe from noip.com or dynedns.org. Does it support or not? Can I able to configure? Perfect. What about you, Roshan? It's going to work? Yes. Thank you. So let's go to the next. What type of VLANs does 3910 supports? So I told you there is a 2 type of VLANs is going to support, right guys? What is those VLANs? What type of VLANs we are able to configure it in Vigor 3910? Tag based and port based, right? Thank you, sir. What about you, Roshan? Is it same? Yes, perfect. So the tag based means, keep remember that guys, through your single interface, you are going to configure it in your layer 2 switch as a trunk port. Through the trunk port, you are going to send all your information, all the VLANs information. And it's going to use which protocol? Can you please tell me quickly, guys? Which protocol we are going to use for tagging, VLAN tagging? What is the standard protocol that you are going to use for VLAN tagging? So whenever you are going to use a tag-based VLAN, perfect, .1Q. So make sure that after you created the VLANs in your layer 2 switch, you should make a trunk. Then .1Q protocol is going to carry, it's going to add the VLAN tag whenever it's going to send the information. Perfect. Now let's go to other question, guys. Why? Because keep remember that .1Q is the open standard, guys. It's going to support any other vendor. So that's why some people, they may ask you, we are using the different switches. Let's say I'm planning to use Cisco switch or HP switch, or I'm going to use a D-Link switch or TP-Link switch. Any switch you can able to use it, you can configure the VLANs. And whenever you want to send your information from your switch to the router, we are going to configure as a trunk. The trunk is going to use the .1Q protocol. So all the vendors are going to support this .1Q, guys. Keep remember this. So that if you are going to purchase only the DrayTek router, you nothing to worry. Yeah. Let's go to the next question. How many VLANs we can configure? I think Haitham sir, he knows it. He given the answer for it. How many VLANs we can configure it? 100 VLANs. Yeah, Mr. Syed. It's not 50, it's 100.
Actually, it was 50.
Yeah, before
it was 50. Now
yes.
it is increased.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's correct. Right now, let's go to the next question, guys. Yes, before it was 50. What type of hotspot authentication methods does 3910 support? Quickly, guys. What are the hotspot methods? So we discussed at least few things. Mr. Roshan and Haitham sir, please. What type of hotspot authentication methods does 3910 support? Okay. Okay, guys. So the first one is click through. Then social media, as I told you, Facebook and Google, and SMS, right? And radius. Yeah, and external server. These 5 methods is going to support, guys. Yeah. Roshan, are you clear? Everybody is clear for this. Yeah. Right. Let's go to the next question. Which routing protocols does 3910 support? Can you please tell us, guys, which routing protocols does 3910 supports? Quickly. RIP, OSPF, static. And sir, you missed one more. What is that? The big guy you missed. BGP. Perfect. So we are going to support static, RIP, OSPF, and BGP. So by using these routing protocols, what you are going to do, sir? What is the purpose of these routing protocols? Why we need to use this? Can anybody give you answers, guys? What is the purpose of this dynamic routing? What does the dynamic routing exactly? It's going to build your routing table, which is going to show you the path for different destination networks, right? So your router, what it will do based on the routing table, it will take the decisions. Whenever it's going to forward the information, then it's going to check the routing table. If the route is available, then only it's going to send your information from source to destination. That's the purpose of your dynamic routing protocols. Yeah. So I just want to ask you guys one more quick question. Can we configure between your layer 3 switch and the router any dynamic routing protocol? For example, most of the time what we will do, either we do if it is a layer 3 switch, we are going to write a static route. Can I configure dynamic routing between your layer 3 switch and your router? Are you clear, guys? Let's say in my layer 3 switch, I have configured multiple VLANs. Then we need to send our information to your router. So to make a communication between them, most of the places what we used to do, we used to write either default route we are going to write, right? But I'm trying to ask you, can I able to configure dynamic routing? Yes, Aitam sir. Can we able to do the dynamic routing between your core switch to your router? Yes, no problem. You can able to do it, guys. Yeah, in case if you want to do a dynamic routing, either RIP or OSPF, you can able to configure it. There is no problem for it. Yeah. Let's go to the next. What are the high availability mechanisms does 3910 support? What are the high availability mechanisms does 3910 support? First of all, does 3910 support high availability, guys? Give me answer at least. Roshan, Haitam sir. Yeah, what are the methods? What are the mechanisms is going to support? Please, quickly. Yes, it's going to support. And what are that? I told you to. Active standby and hot standby. Yeah, because I want high availability. Why? Because if one device is down, other one has to take care of it, right? So I can configure either active standby or hot standby. Yeah, both methods we are going to work. The next question. What are the methods we can use to define PBR in 3910? Guys, we discussed about it. Even Joman sir has given some information about it. Can you please tell us what are the methods we can use to define PBR? So PBR is nothing but policy-based routing. So if you want to define a policy-based routing, I told you, you can able to do it through dash, dash, dash. What is that, guys? 3. Can anybody tell us? Haitam sir, if I want to write a policy-based routing, what are the methods? Roshan. What are the methods we are going to use to define? Means what are the parameters you can able to use it to define your policy-based routing? Anyone? Anyone, guys? Expecting answers from you. Okay. The first one is that, as I told you, IP based. You can do the PBR through IP based or domain based or port based, or you can do the country based as well. This is what the Joman sir said to us, right, guys? So IP based is like a layer 3 kind of filtering, right? Port based, or you can able to do it like a domain based, or you can able to do it like, for example, your company has a requirement like all the Facebook traffic should go from WAN 2, or all your Zoom traffic or Microsoft Teams traffic should go through like into different WAN. So you can able to define it, right, based on your domain name. Then after that, there is a country based. Actually, as Joman sir said that, what he told us, like if you want to block a specific traffic, for example, for different countries, you can able to do it as well. Yeah. The next one is that. What are the VPN types of 3910 support? What are the main VPN types that 3910 is going to support, guys? What are the main? What are the main VPN types? I told you there is a two are the main. What are those? Those are the protocols, but what are the main? Because these two protocols you can able to use it. Yeah, LAN to LAN and dial in, right, guys? In case if you have a multiple branches and if you want to make a communication between them, you are going to configure LAN to LAN. So dial in, you are going to use it for the teleworkers, the people who is going to work from home. Those people, they are going to use the dial in VPN, right, guys? So mostly we are going to, configure either LAN to LAN or dial in. And again, you can able to use PPTP, L2TP, IPsec, OpenVPN, SSL. You can able to configure it, guys. Yeah, those are the protocols that you can able to define according to your requirement.
And the latest, there is a protocol, WireGuard.
WireGuard.
That one also support.
Yes. Which license is the subscription based for CSM? Content Security Management. As I told you that our DrayTek router is a mini firewall as well, guys. Yeah. And it's going to do application layer based filtering or web based filtering or DNS based filtering. It's going to do it. And there is for web content filtering, yeah, WCF. Web content filtering license is required, guys. This is a subscription based, so that you can able to see the multiple groups over there. You can able to select which one you want to block, because if somebody tells you that block the games, and we don't know which website belongs to the games. There is a millions of sites are there. So simply what you can do, you can select the games and you can define the policy. That's it. Yeah. Next. This is the last one, guys. Yeah. What are the bandwidth management methods? What are the bandwidth management methods does 3910 support? So this is actually, we discussed about it, guys. What are the bandwidth management methods? So I told you about this. So basically, if you want to restrict your bandwidth, you can able to do it. You can apply it. What are the methods is going to support? Bandwidth management methods. Can anybody give us the answers? Yeah, for bandwidth limitation. Which one is that? Which one is that for the bandwidth limitation? There is two methods, guys. The first one is IP based. Second one is that session based, right? So through IP based, what we can do, we can able to apply. For example, when the traffic coming from the guest network, I can define there this much bandwidth for upload and download. I can give it to them. Similarly, the session based, I can able to limit the sessions as well, right? This is wonderful feature, guys. When I told you one example, most of the people, when they are sitting in your network, they're just trying to download the torrents. So the torrents is going to consume more sessions, right? And they are going to take the more bandwidth. So that time what we can do, we can limit the bandwidth, right? So that's why we are going to support IP based or session based.
Also, the QoS also, it will come under bandwidth management.
Yes. QoS as well.
Yeah.
So the next question. Which protocol we can use to enable ACS service? I told you guys this is very important. I'm expecting everybody has to give you an answer because ACS is one of the beautiful feature. Yeah, you can able to access your appliance from anywhere once you enable the ACS. Access control server. Which protocol we can use to enable ACS? Haitham sir, Roshan, perfect. TR69. Let's go to the next. Wow, how many APs we can manage through Vigor 3910? This is the last slide, guys. We discussed about it. How many APs we can manage through Vigor 3910? 20? I think so, not correct. Even I forgot it as well, guys. Which one? Can anybody give us the answers, please? How many APs we can manage through Vigor 3910? No, that is switches. That is switches. How many APs? Guess one more time, sir. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. 50. Thank you. Okay, what are the notification methods does 3910 support? So we discussed about this one, guys. Notification methods is nothing but and somebody remove the interface, or internet went down, or immediately as admin he must know it what happened. So what are the notification methods does 3910 support? Quickly, because these are the very important in the production, guys. Because whenever your router is down, as admin you must know what happened to your router. What are the notification methods does 3910 support? Thank you. It's an email and SMS. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. So let's discuss about just only few things, guys. I'm going to finish it in another 5 minutes. So we have a Vigor 2962 and Vigor 2962P. So the only difference is that P is going to comes with the PoE ports. So that's the beauty of that. And Vigor 2962 without PoE. That is only the difference. So in case if you have a requirement for small requirement, you can go with Vigor 2962. If it is a high-end requirement, you can go for 3910. And if you see the comparison, I just show it to you now so that you will get some idea. So again, you have a WAN or LAN switchable ports. It's a, which is there is a multi-gig port. It's a Ethernet port which is 2.5 gig, and there is one more port. It's a Ethernet and SFP. It's a combo port, guys. It's going to support 1 gig, and there is a 2 gigabit Ethernet ports are there, and you can able to terminate up to 2 internet connections. And the total, these 4 ports are the switchable ports. Then fixed LAN port, it has only 2 ports are available. These 2 ports are the fixed LAN ports. And USB port, you can able to connect your NFS and all for storage and all. And performance, if you see here, the NAT throughput is 2.2 Gbps. IPsec VPN performance is 1 Gbps. SSL VPN performance is 800 Mbps. And it's going to support up to 300,000 NAT sessions, guys. And maximum concurrent VPN tunnels, 200. And maximum concurrent open VPN plus SSL VPN is going to support 50. Yep. So keep remember that, guys, because most of the places when I went there, I used to see them. They don't see that how many SSL VPN tunnels are going to support. So this is very important to understand. So if you take a 3910 is going to support up to 200 SSL VPN tunnels. And if you take a 2962 is going to support up to 50 SSL VPN tunnels. The next one is that if you take a P model, it's a PoE capable ports. There is a 4 ports are the PoE capable, which is P1, P4, P5, and P6. And it supports PoE and PoE plus, guys. So it's a 15.4 watts and 30 watts. So 15.4 watts, we can call it as a .AF, and 30 watts, we can call it as a .AT. And maximum power, it's going to give you 65 watts. And again, as I told you that the internet connection and all, it's similar like your 3910. It's going to support PPPoE, DHCP, and static. And it supports IPv4 and IPv6 and multi-VLAN tagging. And it supports the load balancing. based on your IP based or session based. Again, IP based is the default, and session based you need to manually change it. And when active on demand, whether the link is okay or not, you can able to test the link failure or traffic threshold. Like you can able to check the connection like through ARP or ping or strict ARP. You can able to do it. Again, you can able to define the WAN data budget. You can define that this much bandwidth we are going to give. And you can able to define your dynamic DNS like from third party vendor, or else if you want to use the DrayTek DNS for one appliance, you can able to get one DrayTek DNS, guys. You can able to use it for VPNs or port forwarding, whatever you want, you can able to do it. Then LAN management, it's the same. It's going to support tag based, or it's going to support port based, and maximum number of VLANs is 20 and maximum number of subnets are 20. And you can configure the DHCP server as well. And you can create IP alias and 802.1x authentication, port mirroring, local DNS, condition forwarding, hotspot. Again, hotspot methods is going to support click-through, social login, SMS, PIN, radius, and external portnet server. And networking, again, we are going to support IPv4 for static routing as well as IPv6 for static routing, and inter-VLAN routing, and RIP, OSPF, and BGP. And you can define the policy-based routing based on the IP address or port protocol or port or domain or country. And high availability is possible, and DNS security is available. Igmp, which is for multicasting, or local radius server, if you want, you can able to define it as well. And again, the VPNs, it's going to support LAN to LAN VPN and remote dial-in VPN. And whatever the protocols which is supporting in 3910, all the protocols, all the methods are going to support here. Here also, if you want to configure the load balancing, you can able to configure it. And NAT traverse is there, and Vpn Matcher is going to support in this bundle as well. And firewall and content filtering, it's the same as 3910, and port redirection, open ports, and CPALG, application layer gateway, whether you want to enable or disable it, or VPN pass-through, and IP-based firewall policies, and content filtering like application, URL, DNS, and web filtering, you can able to define it. DOS attacks, spoofing spoofing defense, you can able to enable it as well. And bandwidth management, again, it does the IP-based or session-based, and quality of service, you can able to enable it as well according to your requirement, or else you can able to, by default, it's going to give the high priority to your voice. For the management, it's a similarly like your Vigor 3910. Through you can able to access your appliance through HTTP or HTTPS or Telnet or SSH. You can import or export the configuration file, and you can upgrade the firmware by using TFTP or HTTP or TR69. And you can create a two-level administrative page as well, so that you can define that. And access control notification alert can be done through SMS or email. Snmp, you can able to configure either version 2, version 2C, or version 3. We are going to support 3 versions. And syslog, if you want to have a third party, you can able to give the IP address of your third party syslog server, so that all your system related logs is going to send it to your third party server. And again, you can manage this appliance through Vigor ACS, and central you can able to manage up to 50 access point and 30 switches. So that's what the overview, guys. And system maintenance, as I told you, this is very important. The moment when you log in at first time, by default, the IP address is 192.168.1.1. The default username is admin and default password is admin. Once you log in, and in case if you want to change the password, go to the system maintenance and see there is administrator password. Then go there and change the default password. And in case if you want to take the backup, go to the system maintenance and see there is a backup. Or in case if you want to restore, you can use the same and you can able to restore it. In case if you want to configure your syslog, you can able to configure it. Or if you want to configure for mail alert, you can able to configure it and change the date and time according to your country. And again, if you want to the management ports like HTTP, by default, it's going to use 80. HTTPS is 443, Telnet is 23, SSH is 22. In case if you want to change these ports, you can able to change it. Or reboot the system. If you want to reboot your router due to some reasons, you can able to reboot it as well. And firmware upgrade, you can able to download the firmware. You don't need to pay any additional charges. It's totally free. You just log into, just go to the DrayTek website. There you can able to see there is a firmware, you can able to download it. So this is what, guys, if you want to change the default port numbers, you just go to the system maintenance and management. From there, you can able to see the default ports, and from there you can able to change it. So any questions so far, guys? For sales, you can able to send us email, sales@datavoice.com. In case if you have any technical queries, then in case if you are not able to close, if you are not able to understand what your customer is looking for, you can reach Mr. Joman, or I am available here. So these are my email addresses, joman@datawise.com and seshu@datawise.com. And if you have any related to the sales, you can just drop an email, sales@datawise.com. Any questions, guys? Any questions so far? If anybody wants to ask any questions, we are ready to help you out. Yeah, any questions so far? Joman sir, are you there? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So any questions so far? Can we wind up? I think we took a
Yeah,
little bit.
it's almost everything covered, I think.
Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Thank you, Haitham sir. Thank you, Roshan. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. Fahad. Thank you so much, guys. The device is available here. If anybody wants to come and wants to test, it's there with us. Yeah. If anybody wants a special training, and if you have any requirement related to the DrayTek, you guys can come and reach us at any time. And every Saturday, we are going to conduct a trainings, technical trainings, so you guys can attend on that. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Happy weekend to everybody. Right, sir. I'm leaving, sir. Bye.